Welcome to PTI,
Thank you.
and we are here at Riyadh, where the second edition of GLMC has just unfolded. How do you look at the journey of this conference, and both in the context of India and the journey of TCS?
See, this is very important because what is happening is the labor market itself is changing in multiple ways, right? And if you look at technology, and the same thing applies here as well as in India. See, if you look at technology, whenever there was a change of technology or new technology came in, people perceive that it will impact people's jobs, and typically this used to be the blue collar workers, right? But with generative AI, the perception is for the first time the knowledge worker will get impacted. The blue collar, in fact, will not get impacted, right? Because generative AI is not going to wash dishes. It is not going to, fix the car, right? But it is going to write code. It's going to write, articles. Okay, it can summarize a judgment, court judgment. Okay, so the knowledge worker is getting impacted for the first time, which is the first time in history since industrial revolution. So it's an interesting pivotal point, and it applies for all across the globe. So that's an interesting
So,
perspective.
what AI was, I think, also the focal point of discussion in the last conference.
Hmm.
Were you there in the last
Yes, yes, yes.
in
But I
December
didn't
2020?
speak. This is the conference I
Sir,
spoke in.
so when is your session, sir?
No, it just happened. I finished the session.
Okay, so
So I was just
what are some of the broader points that you
This is
discussed?
one point that I brought up. And the essential point is for the reskilling, who pays? Does the corporation pay, organizations pay, or does the government intervene? And government pays. Okay. So there were people from ILO, a lady from ILO on the panel, one from the Ministry of Labor here, South Ministry, and one from the Labor Department of the Organization of Islamic Countries. So that was the four, and the anchor was a gentleman from BBC.
So it was a panel discussion, sir.
Yeah, it was a panel discussion.
Sir,
So the point is that we talked about what I just said, and also how to go about financing it. That's the key. Yeah.
Sir, coming to the TCS journey, if you could share with our viewers roughly what is the number of employees in this region, Middle East and Africa, and from how many countries?
So essentially, we have been here for 25 odd years across the region. So we work in all the GCC countries, and in Africa we work mostly in southern and eastern Africa. Okay, we're not there in north and not there in West Africa. So we have about 10,000 people servicing this sector, this geography, and in Riyadh we have about 3,000 of them. Significant portion of employees are in Riyadh. We have a women's center here, where about 700 Saudi women actually work. So, and it's our 10th year.
Yeah, I was reading about it. So,
Yeah.
so tell us to our viewers about this very interesting center. Is it a BPO? What exactly is this?
Yeah, so it started as a BPO. For a long time, it was so. It's 10 years back. So 10 years back, it was not a place where employing women was really a fancy thing or legally required, right? So we did it we did it for the sake of doing it, and it was BPO. It was a JV with one of our customers, GE. Today it's not. We are 100% owner of that.
Since which year, sir? TCS completely owned?
2014. 2014. Sorry, what is the question? When did it
Since,
start?
since when year it's been totally owned by TCS now?
Oh, that is since 2021, I think, approximately. So yes, we started as BPO. We did the back office for Aramco. We did the back office for certain other uh, one particular bank and some government agencies. But now we are slowly morphing into digital services, right? Including some design services for the Arabic world, right? So yeah, so retraining, reskilling, the BPO.
So, but what was the vision of establishing this? I mean, of course, having maximum local employment, empowerment of women, and I believe these women are very educated. They have master's degrees, some of them have doctorate degrees. So, what was the larger vision behind establishing this?
So it's a bit of vision and a bit of necessity, to be honest. Yeah. We really believe that tapping into this market, we will get a very a workforce which would be very determined to start with, because at that point of time, Saudi women had a point to prove. Okay, so they were very determined, and also their stickiness with the employer was very high. Right, so that is one point, and the second is a lot of the senior leadership of this country actually said that somebody should start something. So yeah, that's the reason. Those are the two reasons really we
So
started.
TCS was in the leading role in that sense. I mean,
We were the leaders. Yeah, we were the leaders. We were the first, and we're still the leaders.
okay. How has been the TCS experience and journey, particularly in Saudi Arabia? Like, what is the total number of centers that you have in Saudi Arabia, including in Riyadh? And what is the total number of employees that you have here? And the percentage of employees who are from Saudi Arabia and from India?
Okay, so let me split this. We have offices in Dammam and Riyadh. Those are the two places we have offices, right? And in other cities like Tabuk and Jeddah, we work from customer locations, right? The second question you said is what is the percentage of people, right? So percentage of people, if you look at Saudi Arabia, there will be about 5 to 6,000 people servicing Saudi Arabia, of whom about 2,000 will be from India offshore. Okay, the rest 3,000, 3,500 odd, it is 50-50.
For example, in Riyadh office, the TCS office, about 50% is India and Saudi Arabia.
Yeah, 50% will be Saudi Arabians. Yeah.
And what is roughly is the share of women employees in your company here?
About, I would say around 40%. Around 40%. Between 30, yeah, 40 is a good place.
This includes both Indian women employees and Saudi women employees?
Yeah, total.
Okay. Sir, I want to come back to COVID. I believe 19 was a very tough period for entire world, but TCS also, because we have offices here, and you indeed, I think, headed the region that time also in 19. What were some of the steps that your company took to ensure that not only the company bounced back with resilience, but your employees felt comfortable, secure, and eventually were committed and motivated to continue working?
See, first of all, we did not let go of any people. That's the first thing, right? So, see, COVID was a complete unknown, black swan event, right? Completely unknown to anybody. So many questions, financial stability, the ability to execute contractual commitments. Suppose I have had a commitment that some software system will be 99% up. If people not coming, can I do that? Okay. So contractual issues, financial issues, so on and so on, so many angles. Right? And it was difficult for senior management to juggle, to be honest. But we took the principle that employee safety will be number one. Everything, see, because it will start somewhere. I mean, everybody's saying this, that. So employee safety we took at number one, and thereafter we, if there's a conflict between two choices, we would pick the employee safety. That's how we look at it. Here in Saudi Arabia, I give it hats off to the Saudi women. Okay, during the curfew used to be relaxed for 3-4 hours. Within that time, they came to our office, picked up their laptops and desktops, got it configured at their residence. Okay, something that
This was done by
the
Saudi authorities.
Sorry, no, the Saudi women, our colleagues.
They
They
configured
came to office during the curfew relaxation time. They picked the laptops that they used to work on, took it home, or the desktop, they took it home, reconfigured it at home, and started delivering the.
They started working
Yeah.
from home. Yeah.
Unbelievable. I mean, it's unbelievable. Of course, sometimes the quality, of communication, the network, etc., were a bit dodgy at times, but the resilience of was kind of unheard of. Really, very, very proud.
See, Saudi women played a big role, sir, in that resilience phase of TCS.
Absolutely, 100%.
And in terms of counseling and all, what did TCS do to help them? So medically, clinically,
so we
psychologically.
We had a number for counseling, telephone number counseling. It was more geared towards the expat population because they were worried about what's happening to their parents back in India. So it was more geared towards that. But here we made available a lot of psychiatrists you could counsel, teleconference and telemedicine kind of thing. We made it available, and then here we didn't have to do it. Saudi Arabia we didn't have to do it, but in parts of Africa, we took the initiative to ensure that our employees were the first set to get vaccinated. And in India, definitely the Tata Group took that initiative of vaccination first.
Okay.
So those are the things that we did.
Now that you look 5 years later, and this conference is into its second edition, I mean, how do you look at the importance of a conference like this, where the focus is the labor sector, and the AI, of course, is an important element. And you did mention that for the first time, the knowledge workers, might get impacted. But do you actually feel that the AI could completely reshape both the economy, knowledge economy, the financial economy, and reskilling will have to be done across the board. I mean, irrespective of geography, irrespective of whether it is emerging economy, developed economy. How do you see AI playing the role, let's say 5 years, 10 years down the line, sir?
Very difficult to call it out. I don't even know what will happen in the next 6 months, to be honest. 4-5 years is very, very long horizon. But one point that I would like to say is that generative AI is a pivotal point in the human evolution. Okay, it is one of the pivotal points of human evolution, and it will impact us in every way. Okay, financial, our quality of life, both good and bad. Both good and bad, right? I mean, you'll start having stuff like deep fakes, and people will use that to break your bank, do something, terrorist activities and all those kind of stuff, right? From there, it can have interventions for doctors to take better decisions, for engineers to plan better, for teachers to teach better, right? Everything is possible. So it's still evolving, but it will impact every aspect of human life and societal life.
How is your company embracing itself for this wave of change that you're anticipating, and that the industry leaders and experts are also anticipating in the next few years? How is TCS bracing itself up?
So one, first and foremost, is retraining our people. Okay, so AI training now covers about, I think, I'm not 100% sure of the number, but I think 60 to 65% of our employees have been retrained with at least a mid-level course of AI, right? So that is number one. Number two, we are trying to figure out how to balance the legalities, the ethical issues, and the guardrails around that, and the technology itself. How to create an ideal match of those things is what we are currently looking at. We've done a lot of POCs with AI and even generative AI across multiple sectors in this part of the world and even across the globe. But especially around training, virtual reality-driven training has become a big thing. Started during the COVID when the graduate engineers couldn't be taken. One of the largest oil companies in this part of the world did that. Okay. So they created a system where graduate engineers would get into a virtual system and start working, and an expert could intervene parallelly into the same system.
So what do you basically teach them during this course module, sir? What is, for a layman, what if TCS is upgrading the skill of its employees with AI-based knowledge or knowledge about AI? So what is it that you teach them, or that you skill them up for?
See, the most important skill today is what to ask. Prompt engineering or something like that, how the prompts are starts from there actually, and it goes on to, so we are not a company which is actually making LLMs and those things. How to marry the existing technology with business problems is what we are teaching, and what are the guardrails around it.
So you essentially are upgrading the skill quotient, the knowledge quotient, and to make them ensure that they don't become irrelevant with the
Yeah.
machines becoming intelligent. So
Yeah.
their intelligence also is commensurately growing with that.
Yeah, so absolutely. So what will happen is, for example, when let's say a program is written by an AI instead of a human being, then what happens? You have to ensure two things. One is that there is no IP violation. It's not copying from some other place that you don't know, or there are no security violations or backdoor entries for hackers to get in. To do this, your ability to understand the program end to end, from an architecture perspective, from a system integration perspective, from a testing perspective, from a documentation perspective, all those things become important. And those skills humans will have to do. That an AI cannot do.
So what does TCS feel that are the skills that will primarily remain the preserve of humans and not machines?
Analytical ability, the pure analytical ability, the ability to also uh, create things which are aesthetic, right? That is
Like the place we are here right now,
yeah,
sir.
beautiful, isn't it? Yeah,
Created by human hands.
yeah, create absolutely.
This is not done by AI.
No, it cannot be. So it cannot be now. I don't know about the future.
Okay.
But the aesthetics part, the design part, those will still be in the realms of human beings.
So you feel that, sir, humans can still claim superiority when it comes to having analytical abilities or aesthetic sense.
As of now,
As of we don't know how the machines will be evolving in future. It's very difficult to predict.
Very difficult to predict, and it's fast approaching. I mean, we'll not be able to. So there's a, the deep fakes, for example, can you create a Michelangelo art exact copy, right? So there are techniques where you have two programs. One creating the, let's say, the art piece, okay, and the other program pointing out the difference between the two. Okay, so this iteration goes on and on. Okay, adversarial network it's called.
Adversarial?
Adversarial network.
Okay.
The two networks are adverse to each other. One tries to make the painting better, and the other tries to pick the fault. So slowly, it cannot differentiate between the real and the fake one, right? Surprisingly, this technology has been there since 1990s. Okay, but it's being used now.
So, but we are seeing various paintings, defects being used to create a copy of masterpieces and being paraded as the real ones.
Yeah.
I mean, this could actually spell disaster in the art world where somebody could be cheated as and of millions of rupees.
Very much possible. So traceability is the issue. So there also there's technology. For example, blockchain would stop that.
So that's where the human mind could ensure that the AI does not
it's difficult. I mean, you have to get technology which will counter that. Yeah.
Okay. So last two small questions. In terms of the employee base that you have here, if I have to ask, I think it's about 9,000, sir, across the
10,000.
10,000 in the region, the Middle East and Africa, sir.
Region, yeah. About 10,000.
About 10,000. And how many nationalities would that be, sir, roughly?
Ooh.
Few, the top 5, perhaps, sir.
So Indians, of course, Saudi Arabians, of course. Then we have Omanis, Emiratis. Then we have Egyptians. We have people from Jordan, South Africans. Then those are the top.
And my last question, sir, what are some of the key technology or applications that TCS is using to not only improve its teeth, if I may say, its technical might, but also ensure that we keep hearing of hacking and system being compromised. So TCS being a behemoth, sir, what are some of the technological interventions that TCS is employing to ensure that it's not only safe and secure, but also changing with time and remaining relevant in the future?
See, I think even today, when there is an issue of, let's say, a cyber attack or an issue of hacking, etc., still, till date, the weakest link is the human being. So, from that perspective, training the employees that they are the weakest part of the vulnerability chain, and ensuring that that is well done, not compromised that easily, is I think the first skill, and the training is around that. The obvious techniques of social engineering are still the number one threat. It's still not technology. Technology enables social engineering to break guards.
Okay.
So we have to train people to understand that this happens, and therefore be aware that this happens and create barriers against that.
And my last question is, sir, what is your future plan for Saudi Arabia, particularly in the region? And any announcements I'd like to share with PTI that's going to be made soon, sir?
So we are going to open our Oman, actually we have opened, but formally inaugurate the Oman office.
When is it? When was it?
24th February.
Is going to open, sir, formally.
Yeah.
And who is going to open, sir? Is it the High Commissioner?
I think the Ambassador of India. We have requested. I don't know.
So this will be TCS
office.
Oman office, sir. First time your office will be set up here, sir?
Yeah.
Or did you
Now
have back offices earlier, sir?
No. So we used to service Omani customers, but
through Riyadh,
partners,
sir?
through partners, through doing things in India. The first time we are opening full-fledged. We actually have already opened. The formal inauguration is.
So when was it sort of informally opened, sir?
I think October, November, or something like that.
So the formal ceremony will take place. What's the date been finalized, sir?
24th, sir.
21, sir. 21st February.
24th.
24th February, sir. So almost nearly less than months from now, sir. And you'll be there, sir.
Of
Going
course.
there, sir. Good. And what is the message I'd like to send out to Indians over there who are listening to you, sir? Because many people have the idea of Saudi Arabia or Middle East based on what they read in the press or in movies. But what is the message that will just to the common Indians out there, sir, about Saudi Arabia, and especially Riyadh?
So Riyadh is happening. Okay, it's a real happening place. If you come here in the Riyadh season, you will be pleasantly surprised. And Saudi Arabia in general, if you try to go to Neom and other places like that, you'll be surprised by the pace of development. Okay? And all those old Hindi film stereotypes are really not true.
Those the Sheikh and all they just.
Yeah, obviously culturally it's different. Yeah. But so is continental Europe. Okay.
So you'd want Indians to come and experience.
Yeah, it's worth experiencing. It's really, really worth experiencing. And hidden gems all over the place in Saudi Arabia.
Thank you, Mr. Roy, for speaking to PTI.
My pleasure.